Carrie O'Toole with Carrie O'Toole Ministries, and I'd like to welcome you to Broken and Brilliant. Thanks for joining us. I am joined again by Cassie Perkins. Welcome.
Welcome, or thank you. Welcome.
And I know why you did that.
Because I'm a host. It's a habit.
I know, it's hard to shift, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I am so thrilled to have Cassie back with us. She was on our last podcast, and if you didn't get to check that one out, please do. It will link it to this one. She told her story of being bullied all through middle school and really how that changed you and took you to a real place of desperation. And you shared about how you came out of that. And that was in 8th grade, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep, 7th and 8th grade.
So tell us what you're doing now, because you're doing some amazing things and you're only 18 years old and you just turned 18. So this is not like, this has only been a couple of years since all of this. So what happened inside you after this bullying that caused you to start doing some of the things that you're doing?
Absolutely. So I think what really started it for me was, at the time, my main absolute focus was bullying, because I had been through that situation. And when I started talking about bullying, no one was talking about it. You know, the school shut me out. Everyone shut me out. Social media wasn't talking about it. The news wasn't talking about it. You know, and if you don't hear it and you don't see it, then it doesn't happen. You know, basically that was their attitude. And they wouldn't let me talk, they wouldn't let me come in, but I just knew that I didn't want this happening to any other person out there. I didn't want any teen or kid or even adult for that matter to feel the way that I felt, the suicide, the depression, the sadness. I didn't want anyone else to feel that way. So I started doing outreaching to people and kids, and kids specifically. You know, it started out with reaching out to a few of my friends who were really suicidal and helping.
So it started with personal connections.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, it started with personal connections and people who were, threatening to commit suicide, who were really close friends. And, I did lose 3 friends to suicide. And,
oh, really?
Yeah. And, I wish I would have known how they were feeling and been able to talk to them. But, it was just so sudden and so crazy. And, one of my, really close friends who I really knew in middle school, and he was the captain of the football team, and we were in this group called Youth for Parker, which was youth council for kids, and there were kids in high school, and then there was me, and I was in middle school, and it was just a tight group of kids, and it was really good. Another group to talk to and have kids to reach out to, and basically there was this guy, and he was the captain of the football team. He was good looking, very kind, very sweet, just a good kid, and he had it all, and he was just so kind to me. And I thought, why would a kid like this, when you're in middle school, all you care about is popularity, and you just want to be popular, and this kid was popular, and he was, but not for the wrong reasons. And I remember seeing him at events and stuff, and he'd be talking to his friends, and I wouldn't say hi because I'm like, he probably doesn't want anything to do with me. And I remember one time he said, "Cassie," and ran up and he picked me up and hugged me, and I was just like, wow, what a kind human being. You never would have thought that this kid would be suicidal, and he did, and he committed suicide, and it was so sudden, and he made good grades, very popular, very loved, and there was just depression inside of him, and he was sad, and no one would have ever known. So I wish I would have reached out and I would have known that these kids are suicidal, but that's why we have to start now and reach out to people who, and groups and schools who are feeling the same way that I felt. But I think it really started with I didn't want this happening to anyone else, and then started reaching out with personal connections around me.
And where did it lead after that?
After that, it really led to, I said that I did that video talk show for a while, and that was really fun for me to be able to get the opportunity to interview people and to,
Is that something you just set up yourself?
Yeah, it was just a group of people, and they were doing it, and I interviewed for a host, and they gave me the opportunity, and it was just such an amazing blessing, and I can't describe it any other way. I started doing public speaking and reaching out to schools and speaking into little groups and classes and just specific people, and it really just moved up from there. And I just had the opportunity about a year ago to go to Kentucky and speak to 15,000 people.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, and it was all girls, and it was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm just thinking, you're 18 years old and you're speaking in front of these huge crowds of people and being able to influence so many.
The thing I think, well, thank you, obviously, but I think the thing is, adults can get up on stage and talk about their stories, and I feel like they can relate, but I feel like they relate a little bit more with me because I'm right in their situation with them. I know the peer pressure that's going on. I know the bullying. I know what's going on in social media. I feel like when I get up on stage, they're like, what is this? Who is this person? And I'm just as real as I can possibly be. I'm as vulnerable as I possibly can be. And I cry on stage and I bawl on stage and they're bawling with me. And, afterwards, after that Kentucky one with Young Women's Lead, we had a signing and, girls came up to me and I was expecting them to say like, oh, you're really good. But they were just like, I'm suicidal, I'm bullied, I'm sexually abused. What do I do? I'm just like, whoa, they just want someone to talk to. They just don't know who or, don't know how to reach out. So
yeah, there are so many of them.
Yeah.
And it's such a scary place to be. And, as from going through it, you didn't feel like you had anybody for a long time. And what a difference it would have made to have somebody who kind of had a national name, but was your age,
right,
coming in saying, I've been there, and it was only a couple of years ago. And look how far you can go in just a very short period of time. And not that everybody wants to be speaking on a stage in front of 15,000
right,
people, but they want life. They want a purpose. They want to be happy again. And to see you knowing that this is where you've come from,
right,
that's got to be just huge. And another thing I'm thinking is, man, they don't want their mom standing up on stage telling them how to just, you'll get past it. You'll get, you've just lived this.
Yeah, I think it helps them relate more and helps them connect in a way.
Wow. So what else are you doing? I know you're speaking, and you've also just been certified.
Yes.
Right. Tell us about that a little
Yeah, so I did a Zig Ziglar. He is an amazing person, amazing individual, and I was so blessed to be able to go to Texas and be Zig Ziglar certified for their training and speaking and
wow,
legacy training, and it was the most inspirational, motivational thing I've ever done in my entire life, and I can't describe it any other way than that. It was an amazing opportunity, and I went into this. I'm 18 years old and I still am a kid. I still like to play video games and hang out. So when I heard about the certification, I was kind of questioning about it, and I was like, okay, so it's 5 days long, it's 4 days long. We're gonna be sitting in a classroom for 12 hours a day. I'm like, am I gonna be sitting there looking at a screen the whole time?
With a bunch of old people.
Yeah, with people just talking to me and just sitting there and being bored, and I didn't really know what to expect. And I went in there and they were just so open, and the Ziglar family, oh my goodness, they are the most kind, loving family.
So they ran this whole thing.
Oh yeah, Zig Ziglar's son, Julie, and Tom, and it was just so amazing. And I've never found a family who's just so in it for you and what you want and what you want for your success. And they said, what do you want? And I was just like, well, I don't know. No one's ever asked me that before. And they were just so willing to help. And I got out of the car and I went in the car with my parents after the first day, and I just started breaking into tears, and they were like, oh God, it was that bad? I said, no, it was amazing. It was
that good.
It was amazing. So yeah, to be involved with the Ziglar family is just incredible, and the things that we learned and the people that I made connections with is just lifelong friends.
Well, and I saw on, I think, your Facebook status that you interviewed some of them on your radio program. So tell about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll talk about my radio show a little bit. So I have a show called Behind the Mask.
Okay, where'd that come from?
Oh, okay. So this is a great story. So in middle school, in art class, I made this paper mache mask, and they had to put the paper on your face, and then you took it off and it was your face. I actually have the mask.
Oh, cool.
But basically, so what I did with that mask is I hung it up in my room, and I didn't think twice about it. I just thought it was a cool looking mask. And I was sitting in my room one day and we were thinking of a name for my show, and this is back when I did the video talk show, and I was like, what can we do? A cool name, that's something unique, something that means something. And I looked on this mask hanging on the wall, and I just thought of everything that I was going through at that time. And I said, what about behind the mask? We all have this mask that we wear. You're the perfect, star. You're the perfect radio host. You're the perfect mom. You have the nice house with the great kids and the great husband. We all have this mask that we wear. So let's come out from behind that mask and talk about things that people don't want to talk about, like suicide and bullying and addiction and just anything.
I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's really where the name came from, and behind the mask. And I looked on the wall, but my show is every Tuesday at 4 o'clock on 8:10 a.m. And like I said, we just talk about such inspirational things. We have people that have hit rock bottom. We have people such as yourself who just have these life-changing stories that just need to be shared. And there's a lot of negativity out there, and a lot of news and social media negativity. I mean, you get on social media and you definitely see something that's going to be negative, but why not put a little bit of light into that situation?
Well, in talking about behind the mask and social media, I've had so many, especially younger people, say it's so difficult for them when they go on Facebook because they see everybody's beautiful life. And it's like, well, yeah, you don't put the day that you're breaking down in your car,
right?
That you're sobbing and feeling
what goes on behind closed doors.
Exactly. Sometimes I want to put those things out there. Right. It's like, okay, here's the junk that happened today, because I don't want people to think, oh, your life is so perfect, what do you have to offer? No. It's still very difficult, but you move on, and you do learn to find the joy, even in the midst of some of the really difficult things.
Absolutely.
So you've got a magazine that you've been on.
Yes.
You've got your speaking, and now you're a Zig Ziglar certified trainer. Everything has to start with a Z.
Right? Yeah.
You've got your radio program. What else is going on in your life?
I just think, I'm doing school right now. I'm still in high school. I'm finishing up senior year, so just...
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited just to see what the future holds, and, for me to look back and just say, what amazing people I've met in my life, and I'm only 18, and all this, I can't explain to you just all the amazing people that I've met who just have such inspirational stories of just hope and love and faith, and it's just so incredible to me that I've met so many amazing people, and to see, at 18 years old, what's going to go on with the rest of my life. It's just unbelievable. So,
what do you think?
I hope to continue. I hope to continue on with public speaking. I really hope that that's an option, and then as well as continuing with my radio show. I'd like to really take that to the next level, and I really would like to be a radio host in the future as well for a long time. That's a career that I want to continue to do and share stories of hope and faith and love.
Well, you're good at it.
Thank you.
You're starting so early that you've got many years to perfect. So that's really awesome. Well, Cassandra, thank you so much. This has been such a fun time. I'm wondering if you would close us out, since you do this all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you guys so much for joining. And if you want to find more about me, you can go to CassandraPerkinsRadio.com and find out more about what I'm doing. Again, Carrie, I want to thank you so much for having me on the show. And guys, we will see you next time with Carrie. Thanks, guys.